Hi everyone, hope everyone's doing okay. Seeing as we've all taken up baking in lockdown, I thought I'd do a little recipe of cookies for a little bit of a well-being exercise. What I will do as well is I'll interchange some of the ingredients, some of the equipment, so if you don't have one thing, I'll give you an option on how to substitute it, okay? So first thing that we need to do is we need to get all our ingredients weighed out. The same as it is in every food technology lesson, once you've turned on your scales, there is one key thing that you need to remember. Once you've put on whatever you're going to weigh your ingredients into, you need to make sure that you're zeroing it on to zero, okay? Once that's done, make sure as well it's in grams, not in ounces. So first thing that I'm going to weigh out is 225 grams of plain flour. So I'm using a spoon, I'm not using the bag just to pour it straight in, like that. If a little bit too much goes in, put it in and pop it back. Okay, so I've weighed out all my ingredients for the cookies. What I will do is I'll tell you different equipment you could have used, different ingredients along the way if you don't have something in. So if you don't have weighing scales, there's lots of other different methods you can use. You can use a tablespoon to measure out, you can use cups, and I'll also put their measurements on at the end of this video. If there's certain ingredients you don't have, in terms of the plain flour, you can use self-raising flour and then omit the bicarb and the baking powder. You can also go 50-50 with some plain flour and some ground almonds, which is what I've done. You can use things like peanut butter powder, you could use a little bit of polenta, okay? So don't panic if you've not got plain flour in the cupboard, there's a lot of other things you can use. In terms of the sugar, again, it's completely up to you what sugar you want to use. I tend to like to put in a little bit of white sugar and a little bit of brown sugar, okay? I just think it gives it a bit more of a caramel taste. So the mixture there is some golden castor and some demerara sugar. In terms of the butter, it's up to you if you want to use a vegan alternative or a spread. If you don't have any butter in or any spread, what you could do is 50-50 veg oil and natural yoghurt, or even play around using a flavoured yoghurt as well, okay? Doesn't matter what you put in these cookies, it can be any flavour you want. I've chosen today to do milk chocolate chips. It asks for 100 grams, which is the bag, which is why I've not weighed that out, but you can put anything in. You can put in dried fruit, chia seeds, nuts, flaked almonds, anything like that you want to put in. It's up to you, or you can do plain ones. The egg I've already whisked up and put that in there. Again, that can be substituted. If you're going to go down the vegan route, omit the egg completely, and you can use the chickpea juice or bean juice that you get in a tin, just keep that back. It just needs to be whisked up, and you would put in 25 grams of that instead. And then the baking powder and the bicarb will just be coming out with a little teaspoon, okay? So I've not weighed that out. Okay, so once everything's weighed out, we're going to start making the cookies. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to put our sugar in there and our butter. You're going to want to make sure that this butter is at room temperature, okay? Otherwise this next step can be quite difficult. So if you pull that out of the fridge maybe an hour before you need to use it. Again, remember, so if you've not got butter in, you can use another spread, peanut butter, things like that. Mix it up a little bit, okay? And what we need to do is we just need to cream the butter and the sugar together. Okay, so once you've creamed the butter and the sugar together and it's consistent, you don't have lumps of sugar, lumps of butter, it's all one thing, you can move on to the next stage. You need to add the egg. I wouldn't add all this at once, and do make sure that you have whisked that up beforehand. So maybe just put in just over a spoon at a time and try and incorporate all that in together. You can add the rest. If you've got a food processor at home or a KitchenAid, you can do it in that. It is a lot easier, but you don't need that. You can do this with a wooden spoon, a tablespoon, a spatula, whatever you've got in. So it'll just take a little bit of work to make sure all that is incorporated in together. Okay, so once you've mixed all that in together, you need to start adding your dry ingredients. So my flour's already weighed out. I'm also going to add half a teaspoon of bicarb and half a teaspoon of baking powder. If you've used self-raising flour, omit this. If you've only got one of the other, use just a teaspoon of that, that'll be fine, okay? Once all that's in, I need to sieve my flour into the bowl. I'm not just putting it straight in. Okay, so that's just aerating the flour and it'll get rid of any impurities that might be in there. So once everything is in, now all we need to do is just to give this a big stir with our wooden spoon. You may need to get your hands in at the end to help bring it all together. Once it's at this stage, you can think about adding any ingredients that you might be putting into the cookies. So I put in my chocolate chips. I'm also going to add in some flaked almonds as well. There we go. So I use my spoon to finish that off, and then I'm going to get my hands in there. And there's your cookie dough. Okay, so once your cookie dough is done, what you need to do is you need to roll them into balls, okay, for your cookies. You want these to be about 60 grams. Again, if you've not got weighing scales, you can do it by eye. It's about that much, okay? So you will get about 10 cookies out of this mix. Obviously, if you want to make more, just double up the mixture. Once you've rolled them out, then you just need to go to a lined baking tray, okay? What I will do is, once these are all rolled out, they're going to go in the fridge for about an hour, okay? We've been playing around with this dough quite a lot. It's quite warm, it's quite loose. You want them to be set. So when I'm actually cooking them, I'm not going to want these cookies so close together on the baking tray, but I'm going to put them on one now so I can just fit them in the fridge. And then I'll show you about the spacing later on. So try and make sure that all your cookies are the same size so they cook evenly. You're going to get a nice crisp cookie on the outside with that oozing cookie dough in the middle. Okay, so I've got my 10 cookies there. Like I said, these aren't going to go straight in the oven like that, otherwise you just get one big tray of cookie dough. I'm going to pop these in the fridge now for about an hour just to set a little bit. In about half an hour's time, what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees C. Okay? Okay, so I've now moved the cookies over onto two separate trays. When they go in the oven, they're going to move out and get that traditional cookie shape that you'd expect. So if they're too close together, they're just going to run into each other. So make sure you've got plenty of room between each one. They take 12 minutes in the oven. I've preheated that, so it's at 180. I'm going to put them in, set a timer, and then we're all done.